Hello and welcome to Access Sportsnet Lakers, brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. Chris McGee, Derek Fisher, James Worthy, Mike Trudell's out in OKC. The Lakers are now down 2-0 to the Thunder as they come back home Saturday for Game 3. And so many attributes, James and Fish, and we talked a lot about them in the pregame show, make this OKC Thunder team a championship team. Tonight it was their depth. The bench scored 48 points. They hit 9 threes. The Lakers were up 69-64 with just over 8 minutes left in the third quarter, playing some really good basketball. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander goes to the bench with 4 fouls. OKC goes on a 29-11 run. The Lakers in that third quarter, just 7 field goals made, 8 turnovers. Mitchell, Wallace, McCain, Williams, all those guys making huge contributions. Hartenstein had a great game. The Lakers' fight was there, James. The battle was there, just not enough to steal this one on the road.
Gita, the things you just mentioned are the characteristics of a championship team. You know, they don't rely on any one player, even though they have mega stars on the team. They don't rely on them to win basketball games. They rely on them to, support the win and help dominate in some cases. And if you look at what they were able to do with Shai in foul trouble, Wallace, the guys you mentioned, McCain coming in, Holmgren doing his thing, and Hartenstein at times with his little floaters, they just continued to play the game. So, and the Lakers just didn't have enough runs. Oklahoma had a lot of runs in their tank, and every time the Lakers seemed to make a push, Oklahoma was right there. We just couldn't knock down shots again. The inability to, make buckets, timely buckets when we needed to, just wasn't available tonight. And they have guys that just plug in and get the job done, whereas our bench, effort was there, but just can't compete with the bench of the Thunder. So a lot of positives to pull away. You want to win your home games, but when you don't have home court advantage, you got to win one on the road. So things are still possible. You'll go away, you go home, try to get a game at home.
Yeah, I mean, the outcomes are the outcomes. I mean, the number 1 team in the league, number 1 seed in the West, best defensive team in the league. They're supposed to protect their home court by the math. So it's not really the end of the world that they won 2 games at home. In a playoff series, it's like you're trying to find the right recipe to win one game that then allows you to start to feel like, okay, we have the right combination of things that will allow us to beat this team a second time. And then you build from there. And so there were more things tonight that were moving towards a better recipe that you can hopefully bring back to LA as you prepare for Game 3. But the biggest piece of it is eliminating the unforced errors. There were some possessions tonight where just
careless,
a bad decision with the basketball, not just because of Oklahoma City's defensive pressure, but just a poor decision with the basketball that also led to points given up off of those turnovers. And those are ones you just can't have. I mean, you're playing the champ. You have to knock the champ out. You're not going to win a decision. It can't be a 50-50 type of battle. You have to knock them out. And so far, they haven't gotten close enough to doing that.
Turning the ball over. We talked about this every single game in the Houston series. This was going to be key for this Laker team. 21 of those tonight, James, that led to 26 points for OKC. And as Fish mentioned, I think he put it perfectly, a lot of these were just ill-timed, for sure, but just bad decisions, right? And that's where Oklahoma City will suffocate you and separate even more. So all that fight that you had to get back in the game, cut it to 5, now it's back to 12.
Yeah, and it happens quickly with Oklahoma because they can hit you from all different areas. Possession of the basketball is critical, particularly in a series with Oklahoma, because you have to take care of the basketball in order to, at least make the defense work a little bit, Geeter. When you turn it over, things happen quickly, momentum changes, and then before you know it, you're down 5. Next thing you know, you're down 12 or 15. So possession of the basketball is huge. I know that the Lakers are trying to take advantage of situations, maybe try to get, situations before the defense gets set. But they have to be aware of the basketball and not turn it over, because you just can't do it with any team, but particularly you can't do it against Oklahoma, who seems to benefit just about off every turnover that you make.
Yeah, and I think the other part, you know, we used to battle against the San Antonio Spurs often, and we'd feel at times like they were getting the benefit of the doubt of the whistle, right? Like the way they played defense, maybe they were smart, that, you know, their hands would be in there, but then maybe they pulled their hands out at the right time, whatever it was. And we had to learn the energy wasted on the referees, the complaining, the talking, getting into back and forths, et cetera, was just energy that didn't go into, like, what do we need to do this next possession to be successful? And that's one thing that the Lakers, I think, can kind of put away coming into game 3. Like, don't even say anything to an official.
Yeah.
Bad call, bad whistle, should have gone the other way. Either the coaching staff is going to challenge it or not, but just get ready for the next possession. And then that energy that you're conserving and saving can then go into, like, not turning the ball over 3 or 4 possessions later, making clearer decisions with the ball, because you're not allowing your frustration and your energy to build up a certain way.
Let's talk OKC. I think the Lakers are doing about as good a job as you can on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP. Yeah, he had 22 tonight. He had 13 after 3. He was only 7 of 13. He got to the line 9 times. He made 7 of them. He's going to get to the free throw line. He's going to get calls. But it was the balance of this team led by Chet with his 22, A.J. Mitchell 20, Jared McCain again with 18, Kason Wallace 12, and Isaiah Hartenstein was 5 for 6 for 10 points. A.J. Mitchell, guys, was fantastic. 20 points, 7 of 12, got to the line 7 times, and really navigated and ran this team when SGA was out for those 8 minutes. Jared McCain is now 8 for 10 on the series from 3, and the confidence is absolutely through the roof. Those two guys kind of led the way, James.
Yeah, who's remind you of? Remind you of one of those dynasty teams that this guy played on, where they could hit you with Sharpe, Fish, you know, Lamar Odom, Robert Horry, and we're not even talking about Kobe and Shaq yet. So Oklahoma is setting the tone for what teams better start looking like. Okay, you better start looking at the variety, not depending on one player. Guys coming off the bench who could, you know, pretty much be all-stars or potentially start other places. They're setting the tone for what an NBA team is going to have to look like in the future if you want to win. And so, you know, you have to be patient. You have to be, you know, able to control your emotions, like Fish said, and a lot of variables go into a game when you're playing a team like Oklahoma, because you can't just concentrate on 2 or 3 players. You got to concentrate on a system, and they just plug in players and they just come in and they just knock you out, and ready to do it quickly too.
Yeah, I mean, James is right. You think about the 2 teams that played in the NBA Finals last season, Indiana Pacers, Oklahoma City Thunder, 2 teams that play a very, very balanced style of basketball. Their best players, yes, they're statistically impactful, but the ball moves around with a lot of freedom, and a number of players, multiple players, feel free to be who they are and play their game. The Lakers have a similar space. You can tell, like, Austin Reeves feel comfortable. Rui, obviously when Luka's in the lineup, LeBron's offensive production, Luke Kennard, but there's just a consistency in the energy that OKC brings in terms of multiple guys trusting their shot, trusting going out to make plays. And look, you tip your cap. They won their 2 games at home. Another game tonight where you're up 5 in the 3rd quarter this time. The first game, you were down by 4 with 6:40 to go in the 3rd. Mm-hmm. Tonight, you're up by 5 before the run happens in the 3rd quarter. So again, your recipe, you're mixing some things in and out, and you got a little closer tonight to it being a good dish, but you have to add it up some more and figure out a way to win game 3.
All right, guys, we talked about that bench scoring as I show you what this OKC team did tonight. Here are the numbers. In game 1, 34 points. In game 2, 48 points. You see the field goal percentage, a ridiculous 55%. And look at the 3-point field goals. 8 for 17, 9 for 19. 17 for 36 in this series so far. That, my friends, is a huge, huge difference, James.
Yeah, the value of the three ball, Geeter. I mean,
but you're getting it from
8 for 17,
all
9
the bench
for
guys.
19.
I mean, that's the bench.
And not only that, Geeter, they're moving the basketball. Look at that, 10 assists, 12 assists. So they're not just like, coming in, shooting a lot of shots. They're continuing to play Oklahoma basketball. They're passing, they're moving, they're making the defense work. It's the same, as the starters. So good team.
All right, guys, time to hear from Coach J.J. Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.